With that said, we'll open it up to the floor, and we're going to start there.
My name is Bill Elliott. I've lived in Waterdown for about 15 years, lived in Burlington for about 20 years prior to that. Downsized to Waterdown. Received the real estate tax shock moving from Burlington to Hamilton, that everybody does. And I think that's very key about what we're talking about. We talk about that, and my neighbors talk about this. Give you a little bit about my background. I've had a love-hate relationship with Hamilton since 1984 when I moved here from Calgary, which was right about the time when Calgary was 500,000 people and they're putting in their C train. Prior to that, I lived about 10 years in Edmonton and lived there when they were about 500,000 people and putting in their LRT, so it's not good stuff. For the last 3 years, I've ran my own consultancy called Global Integrative Trade Consultants. I'm a member of a group called Global Investment Attraction Group, where we do foreign direct investment strategies and economic development strategies for various municipalities and regions. Currently doing one for Durham region for 5 years. Because I'm a member here, I'm very keen in terms of this. For 10 years, I worked for Waterloo Region, an organization known as Canada's Technology Triangle, which was involved with attracting foreign direct investment to Waterloo Region. Over that period of time, I led a team that brought 50 foreign investments to Waterloo Region. Probably the most well-known is Google. A study of 12 of those showed that the direct, indirect, and imputed value of those investments were $200 million a year to Waterloo Region. Without going into a lot of details, but I can tell you a lot of the impetus, or some of the impetus, of building that region and that was LRT, and some of the thought processes behind global companies looking to invest in that region was because of the progressive nature of LRT and the progressive nature of other things that are going on there. It took a long time, but people finally got it, that an investment anywhere in Waterloo Region was good for all parts of Waterloo Region. Unfortunately, we're not there yet in Hamilton, even though we do have a benefit of all being called Hamilton. I think Ted will even admit that his original campaign promise of de-amalgamation is long gone by the board. That ship has sailed. I have to deal with the same thing, that the stadium didn't get built in the West Harbor, so sorry, Bill, that ship has sailed. I'll have to get over that. LRT, Aaron, at the end you talked about you and your wife, and I'm not saying that us people don't count anymore, but we don't count anymore. This is about millennials. This is about attracting knowledge workers to the city of Hamilton. You know, it's not even well known outside the city of Hamilton that health sciences surpassed the steel industry years ago in terms of employment and economic benefit. People inside Hamilton don't even know that, let alone people outside of Hamilton. So we have to do a much, much better story of storytelling. Some of you may have heard of a little university called the University of Waterloo. I sold it for 10 years. Politicians have picked up on it like crazy. Helps when you have a former president become the Governor General of Canada. As a matter of fact, David used to quote George Bernard Shaw all the time and say, he used to say, Waterloo Region, it was the spirit of why not. I used to look at that because I had a business in Hamilton for 20 years, and I said, well, if Waterloo Region is the spirit of why not, Hamilton's the spirit of why. Why would we do that? We have to get over that. We have a changing demographic. What's good for one region of Hamilton is good for all. Downtown, I tell my neighbors every day, and they don't realize it, and they're very skeptical, but the more that we can support downtown and revitalize downtown and get those property values up and good taxes coming out of downtown, the more our taxes will stabilize. I'm not hopeful that our taxes will decrease, but hopefully they'll stabilize. You know, LRT, downtown Kitchener at one time, there was not much going on down there, and Waterloo was the big insurance town and the big IT town and everything like that. All it took was Google to move from the University of Waterloo campus to the tannery in downtown Kitchener, and that place has exploded. Not the least of which is the intermodal transit hub that's being developed there as well. Storytelling. Waterloo. Everybody talks about the University of Waterloo. I used to remind them there was a pretty good engineering school down at the bottom of Highway 6. How many people know that on world rankings of universities, McMaster ranks way higher than the University of Waterloo? McMaster's in the top 100. Waterloo is like 175. Don't quote me on the number, but it's way higher. Oh, no, that can't be true. Everybody knows about Waterloo. It's wonderful. We don't do a good job of storytelling here. This is a good story. I would hate to say it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but it is, and it's a benefit for the whole city. It is going to take Hamilton into the new millennium. It's going to bring in those knowledge workers. You don't think IBM thought about LRT before they made an investment in downtown Hamilton and decided to put 350 new jobs in downtown Hamilton? The types of jobs that we need to move forward in the global economy? Okay, read the press. It's all about the Toronto-Waterloo corridor. John Tory and the mayors of Waterloo region are going to Silicon Valley and that. We have that here already. We have all-day GO train transit. They're going to have LRT before we are. But why are we sitting here missing out on the action? There's just as many smart people in Hamilton as there is in the Waterloo region. Now, if LRT becomes our new Red Hill Expressway and takes 20 years to decide, well, I guess we deserve what we get. So I'll only take exception with one other thing that you said, Aaron. First of all, I want to congratulate the Flamborough Chamber in asking the tough questions, because they do need to be asked. They really do. Any project half this size, let alone this size, the tough questions need to be asked and everything like that. But you did make a statement at the beginning and said that the Chamber has not taken a position on this, and you weren't sure whether it would make a difference if you did. I suggest that the Chamber is the only organization, business or otherwise, in Flamborough, and that residents do pay attention to what the Chamber has to say. Even though I read my Flamborough Review late, and so I had to register with you this morning. But do listen to what you have to say. And it's important that we get our neighbors on side and understand and do away with any of the myths that are involved with this and deal with the realities. And if there are issues, then address those issues. But it's a huge opportunity. And just in closing, Kim, you mentioned it. My last year, 2012, in Waterloo region, I did 44 international flights. And that's why I came home to Flamborough and said, that's enough. But I used to get so frustrated when I traveled Europe and Asia and was able to use public transportation to go where I wanted to go. And certainly they have population densities over there, but this is an opportunity for us. And I guess the one thing that even though the stadium didn't get built in the West Harbor, I can see that I will be able to go down Waterdown Road, get on the GO train, take it into Hamilton, take the LRT north on James Street, transfer over and get off at Scotland Park and still go to Tim Hortons Field and have a couple of drinks afterwards and still take the LRT home, right? So thank you for listening.